Okay guys, we'll start with the first class of Python today. So the request is to basically divide your screen into two parts. Half of the screen would be the Skype screen in which you'll be seeing what I'm typing, and second half would be your own Python shell which you will be basically replicating what we are you're seeing on the screen. So my first question is anyone already familiar with Python, or is it their first time with Python or any programming language?
It's my first time.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. And now you can basically put yourself on mute, basically. That would be, otherwise it leads to a lot of noise collisions happening. Okay, so what is Python? So Python is basically a real world programming. And it's considered as one of the most simplest way to enter into the world of programming because of a very simple interface, and language is very close to the way we generally talk. It's basically teaching you how to give instructions to the computer to make things happen the way we want it to operate. The games that we make, a lot of games, we are the ones who are controlling those games. There is something running at the back end which is following those instructions and guiding the computer what to do, how to do. To start with this, I'm assuming everybody has their terminals open. And if anybody needs help opening the terminal, please unmute yourself and you can let me know if you're having any issues with the terminal. I can help you start with the terminal. So the first command to test whether your terminal Python is installed correctly or not is to do print hello world, and I think everyone has already tested that. So the first part we will start over here is that we can use Python terminal directly as a calculator. The calculations can be performed directly on it. For example, 8 into 4. And my request is kindly keep doing the calculations and keep copying it side by side so that you guys know what symbols to use, how to use it. 20 plus 365. 3, this asterisk sign means multiply. So for division, which operator do we use? Anybody knows that? The slash sign. So basically, if we give the percentage sign, it gives us the remainder. If we do the slash sign, it gives us what is the operand. So it also, for the calculations are performed based on the order of operation. Does anybody know what is the order of operation? How is the priority given to the calculations? Oh, can everybody else see it? Oh, I'm not only sharing my screen. Nobody mentioned that. Okay. Can you guys see my screen now?
No.
I just started sharing the screen.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, guys. Okay, I hope everybody's seeing the screen. I was thinking everybody's able to see my screen. You all, that's funny. Okay. So what was I saying? That we basically can perform calculations directly on the screen of the Python terminal, in which we use the asterisk sign for multiplication, the slash sign for division. It tells you what did we divide by. The percentage sign would give us the remainder. So I hope you have. Did you guys do all of these? We were not sharing the screen earlier, so
Yes.
okay, sounds good. So the order of operations is that we give the highest priority to the brackets divided by, I'm assuming you guys must have already done that. Division and multiplication is given the next priority, followed by addition, subtraction. So if we basically, I do 5 plus 30 into 20 would give a different result, because in this case 30 into 20 was given a higher priority and then addition of 5 took place. But if I give it under brackets, 5 plus 30 into 20, in this case we would basically end up doing the addition first because the brackets have a higher priority, and then the multiplication. So if there are nested parentheses, then the innermost bracket gets the highest priority. For example, 5 plus 30 and so in this case, can anyone tell me, unmute yourself and tell me how basically the calculation took place? Can anybody explain the order of operation in this? So the innermost bracket, okay, go ahead. Who is that?
You it did 5 plus 30, which is 35, and then it did 35 times 20, which is 700, and then 700 divided by 200.
Perfect. So the innermost bracket got a highest priority. And the same thing, if I do it without the braces, the answer would be different. So I'll be now giving you a sheet to practice on, to see what are the various calculations you can perform on the calculator, on the Python terminal. Okay, so I want you to perform all these operations, and once done, let me know. Any issues, let me know. Anyone done with the practice questions yet till number 10?
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm assuming everybody should be done till number 10 by now. You all are all working on the order of operations. Rishabh? Okay. If anyone's done with order of operations, let me know. Any questions, you can ask them. Okay, sounds good. Perfect. So, Rishabh? Okay, let's start with variables now. So, Ishara, can you tell what are variables?
They're letters that take the place of numbers.
Exactly, they are basically some text which are storing some information. Basically, there is some value stored inside them which is representing something. So, it is a place to store information. It can be information stored, can be anything. It can be numbers, it can be strings. By strings, does anybody know what the strings mean? So, strings means it can be text stored in it, numbers, can be some symbols, a combination of those, anything basically. Can be just simple text, can be just symbols, whatever. Basically, they are storing some value in, and we can define that this variable will have numeric value, this variable can have strings value, what type of data is going to be stored in it. So, to understand it better, let's look at some examples. So I would say, for example, I can say YoungGates. You can give anyway, you can give it your name as a variable name right now, equal to 100. Then I give another name, say Rishabh, equal to 500. If I say now print YoungGates, would basically show me what value is stored in YoungGates. Print Rishabh would show me what value is stored in Rishabh. Now supposing I say Ishara is equal to YoungGates. So what would that mean? Can anybody tell me what will be the value of Ishara? What do you think would Ishara have? Say again? Exactly. So it would print 100. Now I would say YoungGates equal to say 200. Now what do you think would Ishara have? Can anybody guess that? I just now said Ishara is equal to YoungGates. Print Ishara, Ishara did 100. Now I am saying YoungGates is 200. What would Ishara be? No, Ishara would still be 100. Why? Because the time at which we assigned Ishara the value of YoungGates, at that time YoungGates had the value 100. But when I later said YoungGates is 200, Ishara would still stay the same because we are not reassigning Ishara to YoungGates. If I now say again Ishara equal to YoungGates and then I do print Ishara, then it would become 200. Are you getting me? Any doubts in that? So it will basically, the value that gets assigned to it would be the value at that moment. If I change the value after that, even if I now assign, say I make Ishara equal to 300, YoungGates, if I do print Ishara, it would say 300 because that's the latest value assigned to Ishara. But YoungGates would still own its own current, the value that it was assigned, that is 200. But right now these names like I've given YoungGates, Rishabh, Ishara, these don't make any sense. What does YoungGates 100 mean? What does Rishabh 500 mean? What does Ishara 200 mean? This not giving any meaning to what we are doing. So the most useful approach is to give variable names which are meaningful. It should, the moment we look at it, we should be able to figure out what it is talking about. It's so if we use just random any variable name, we are just trying to make our own programming complex. That when we look at the program first, rather than focusing on understanding the program, our focus would be first to understand what these variables do. If I would have written something like say number underscore of coins is equal to 50. So it's clearly explaining itself that we are talking about number of coins is 50. So what about variable naming? Variable names can contain, what all they can contain? Letters, numbers, and underscores. And I want you to try creating a variable name that starts with the number. Can you try that?